Welcome to our class. In this class, we will look at the insert, update, and delete commands. The insert command, and it should be uppercase, is used to insert a new record into a table. There are two ways that you can do this. First, using the insert command and the into clause, you must indicate the name of the table. Then, using the values function, you need to specify the values. Those values need to go in the order in which the field names or the columns of that table go. Those values also have to be of the same data type as specified when we created the structure of our table. You also could use the insert statement and specify the names of the columns, as shown in the second example. Either ways it works. If the value is an auto number, you just leave an empty space for that. If you have a default value set and you want the default value to be used, you would code in the phrase default. So here is an example of the template in phpMyAdmin. So far, we have been looking at the select command. In this same dialog box on the SQL tab, you also have buttons for insert, update, and delete. And when we click on insert, it automatically gives us the SQL query and we can modify it. Notice that it knows that you have selected the scholarships table, so it automatically knows the field names and it lists them for you. Once you have inserted a record, you will see confirmation that it has been inserted. Then you can go back to your table and see the new record. The update command is used to update an existing record. It could be used to update one field in that record or multiple fields in that record. You need to specify a where clause with the update command to specify which record or records will be updated. If you do not specify that, all of the records will be updated. So here with the update command, we are using the set command. So set a certain column to a certain value, comma, another column to a certain value, comma, etc., depending on what columns or fields you wish to update. The where clause is needed in order to tell which record to update. So here we see in phpMyAdmin in the SQL Query tab, when we click the Update button, it gives us a template. Again, because we are selected the scholarships table, it will automatically populate this query with the different field names. If you don't need them, just delete them. And you have to add your where clause. So here we have an example of an update where we're changing the name of one organization to another, and this is specifically for the record where the primary field is a certain value, and you see the screenshot on the left, the original name of the organization, and the name on the right that it was changed to. One nice thing that you can do with the update command is you could update all of the records in a certain manner. For example, supposing we wanted to increase all of the scholarship amounts by $100. Here we have the update command, the table scholarships, set amount equals, and we're just setting the amount to plus 100, and it will automatically update all of the amounts, as you can see in the before and after screenshot underneath here. One thing I would like to point out about the update and the delete command is that it also works with aggregate functions, relational operators, and logical operators. The delete command is used to delete a record. Period. Deletes the whole record. If you want to change part of the record, you use the update command. You need the where clause for the delete to specify which record or records will be deleted. If you omit that, all of the records will be deleted, the whole table. So here's the delete command from the name of the table, where, and we have the condition. Again, you can use your aggregate functions, logical, and conditional operators in the where clause. So here in phpMyAdmin, when we click on the delete button, it gives us the template. It knows that we are in the scholarships table, and all we have to do is specify the record or records using the where clause. After you have finished deleting it, it will tell you that it was deleted, and you can go back to verify in the browse mode. Here is an example of deleting 3 records, and in our where clause we have the amount is less than or equal to 400. So we are deleting all of the scholarships where the amount is less than or equal to 400. There are 3, and when we run our command, it tells us. So let's take a look at how we might use this. And notice I have a duplicate database down here so that I don't mess up my first one. It's always a good idea to do that in order to learn and play around with your tables. So I am going to go into the scholarships, and I will go to the SQL tab, and I will click the insert. We will insert a new row, and here we see the values. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new record. So I am going to create a new scholarship, and I will give it scholarship ID S22, and these are literals, so I need to have quotes around them. And the second value, which corresponds to the organization, is going to be Qualcomm. The next value, which corresponds to the scholarship amount, which will be 1,000, it does not need to be quoted, and you can space these out to make them a little bit more readable. The next value will be fall, and that is a literal. And finally, we're going to have the year 2016. So again, the data type needs to match the columns, and the values need to go in order of the columns in the table structure. If I were to click go, it shows me that indeed one record has been inserted, and if I were to go to the browse and scroll down, there we can see our new row has been added. Now let's go and delete that row. And remember, we are going to need a criteria. You commonly use the primary key as the criteria, which will be S22. So I will go back to the SQL tab. Now I will click the delete button. It is setting me up for my delete statement. All I need is where, and I want the scholarship ID. I can double click on the field, equals. This is a literal. It needs to be double quoted because everything else has single quotes. This is S22. Now, notice one very interesting button down here that we have on a delete. Up until this point, we've been clicking the go. Notice to the left, simulate query. Why? Because a delete is permanent. So it allows you to make sure you know you agree with everything before you hit that go button. So if I click simulate query, it's showing me that everything's okay. I'm only going to match one row. I can close it. Now I can click go. It tells me that one row has been affected. I can go back to browse. I will scroll down, and you can see that S22 is no longer there. Back to the SQL tab, I will click on the update button, And what we will do, we will update scholarship ID S21 to $1,200. So here's update, and it gives us the template for all of the fields. Updating the amount to $1,200. I don't need quotations around it. I'm going to get rid of the rest. And now I have my where, and the where is based on the primary key for that record, which is scholarship ID, and that equals, and this is a literal, I need double quotes, S21. And here again, because we're updating, update and delete could be destructive. To the left of my go, I have my simulate query, making sure we know what we're doing before we actually process it. Okay, it looks good. I'm only affecting one row. I can close that, and I can go into go. Notice it did update that row, at least it tells me it did. How do I know? I can go back to browse. I can go down and take a look, and S21 is now $1,200.